The USS Nimitz and USS Ronald Reagan carried out operations and military exercises in the contested waterway between July 4 and July 6, and returned to the region on July 17. The presence of the carriers was not in response to political or world events, the U.S. Navy statement added, but relations between Washington and Beijing are currently strained over everything. This week Secretary of State Mike Pompeo staked out the United States' bluntest position yet on China's illegal land grab in the crucial South China Sea, declaring both Beijing's excessive maritime claims and its browbeating of smaller neighbors to be unlawful. It was a departure of sorts from years of cautious diplomatic speak, and could open the door to tougher U.S. reprisals against Chinese behavior. Some analysts believe that the new U.S. position is related to the Iran-China axis.
What is your assessment of the prospective trade and military partnership between Iran and China?
We have a set of sanctions related to any company or country that engages in activity with Iran. The sanctions are clear. We have been unambiguous about enforcing them against our companies from allies, countries from all across the world. We would certainly do that with respect to activity between Iran and China as well.
Beijing is said to be in the final stages of approving a $400 billion economic and security deal in energy and other sectors with Tehran. The partnership agreement draft obtained by the New York Times. China would receive a regular heavily discounted supply of Iranian oil over the next 25 years. The partnership was first proposed by China's chairman, Xi Jinping, during a visit to Iran in 2016, was approved by President Hassan Rouhani's cabinet in June. Beijing would also hold joint exercises with the Iranian military, develop weapons and share intelligence with Tehran. The agreement reflects China's defiance of the United States. It would undercut the Trump White House efforts to isolate the Iranian government, because of its nuclear and military ambitions. Oil tankers from the Middle East has to pass through the Strait of Malacca, from the South China Sea to China. The reliance on Iranian oil has increased. The CCP must have greater control over the South China Sea to protect the safety of shipping routes from Iran, forcing the Indian Ocean countries and countries in the South China Sea not to dare cooperate with the United States to detain the tankers from Iran. International law generally recognizes the South China Sea as a free and open sea. To defend this principle, the United States have to contain the CCP with greater force. Iran-China axis also affects Japan, an ally of the United States. Japan's energy lifeline is also a route from the Indian Ocean to the Strait of Malacca, and through the South China Sea. If the CCP is allowed to dominate the South China Sea, Japan will be choked. The Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Forces training ships, JS Kashima and JS Shimayuki, conducted the bilateral exercise with USS Ronald Reagan and USS Mustin, at South China Sea on July 7. Beijing has made a lot of preparations, including its expansive claims with island building and naval patrols. Heated rhetoric has been on the rise in the region, where Brunei, Malaysia, the Philippines, Taiwan, and Vietnam challenged China's claim. China claims by far the largest portion of territory, an area defined by the Nine-Dash Line, which stretches hundreds of miles south and east, from its most southerly province of Hainan. Vietnam hotly disputes China's historical account, saying China had never claimed sovereignty over the islands before the 1940s. Vietnam says it has actively ruled over both the Paracels and the Spratlys since the 17th century, and has the documents to prove it. The other major claimant in the area is the Philippines, which invokes its geographical proximity to the Spratly Islands, as the main basis of its claim for part of the grouping. China held military drills in the sea earlier this month, drawing strong condemnation from both Vietnam and the Philippines. Previously, U.S. policy had been to urge a peaceful resolution to the dispute through UN-backed arbitration. The U.S. has no claims itself to the waters. It has deployed warships and aircraft for decades, to patrol and promote freedom of navigation, and overflight in the busy waterway.
I think things have shifted dramatically in the region. I think you're seeing countries all throughout Asia, and indeed in Southeast Asia, and in the Pacific, recognizing that the United States is prepared to do the things necessary to assist them in protecting their valid legal claims. So I think it was really important. The statement we made on Monday, I think, was very, very important in not only demarcating the United States position, but making clear that we'll support other nations in the region that do a similar thing with respect to protecting their capacity to preserve the maritime boundaries that their people.
The new U.S. position would be part of a broader and widening showdown with the CCP.
美方应该好好反思他的政策。 但受到制裁，中国也不怕。如果美国想兴风作浪的话，那就让暴风雨来得更猛烈些好了。